Hachayo no hell, hello everyone and welcome back to the Maya the Keeper. It's time for another Trecena analysis. Today we're going to be analyzing the Oshilahu Ajmaq, the 13 complementarity Trecena. And this is a very special Trecena, especially among the Quiche Mayan people, because the Trecena marks the restarting of the calendar on the day Washaki bats, a monkey. So I'm going to be taking that as the main focus to break down this Trecena so you can understand why this Trecena is so special. And I also like to remind you that on Washaki Bats is the last day to enter the giveaway you are running on Discord. If you don't know, I'm running a 9 free Maya consultation giveaway on the Discord community. The Maya consultations can be analyzing your personal NAWAL, so we can visit the realms of the pregnancy to understand why do you act the way you act, why do you choose the way you choose, why there are some recurrent patterns of behavior that you always keep coming back. And also can be great and insightful for relationships, partnerships, and even help with recurring dreams you may be experiencing. So if you'd like the chance to get one of these free Maya consultations or Maya readings if you prefer, you can join our Discord community, the link's gonna be in the description. Go to the giveaway tab and react to the message. And that's it. Washaki Bats is the last day to enter the giveaway and the winners are gonna be announced on Belair E9 Pathfinder. So we still got time, and without further ado, let's just hop straight into our analysis. We just wrapped up the Oshilahu Akabao, the 13 clarity Trecena. This was the Trecena that we spoke about the accumulation of clarity that can lead us to see our plans clearer. Also was the Trecena that spoke about taking things out of the darkness and bringing them into the light. If you missed the past analysis, I will leave the link of the video here in the card so you can rewatch it if you want. Also, if you don't know anything about NAWALs and Trecenas, I have a dedicated video talking about that I will also leave in the card so you can watch it. Oshilahu Ajmaq 13 complementarity Trecena. Ajmaq is a very interesting NAWAL to break down because it's the NAWAL that works as an amend in the calendar. It will tie everything together in there. It's the NAWAL of the complementarity. Is the NAWAL responsible of combining the complementary opposites, what can be considered in the masculine aspects and in the feminine aspects. I'm not talking specifically about gender. When we apply in business, we can associate feminine aspect as the ideas we have and how we're going to develop that, like it's more open. But also you can put in the money in the masculine aspects that can be straightforward. You can go there and use to materialize something. So when you combine both of them, you can have a product. And that's the realm of Ajmaq, creating something new, combining the complementary opposites. Also, Ajmaq enters into the realm of sexual relationships. Talks more actually about the procreation. Is the NAWAL of the newborns, the cycle of the ancestors. Every newborn is the new seed of the grandparent, so what gives continuation to our species. So you can see how Ajmaq ties everything together and makes everything continuing and bringing something new. Ajmaq also enters into the realm when we fall in love, we fall into the blindness, we cannot see straight. If in the past Trecena we spoke about the accumulation of clarity, when you have like too much light in your eyes, you become blind. And that's in a realm of Ajmaq to talk about when we are blinded by the emotions. When we fall in love, we start caring too much about a person and everything has a different affectation. We started just acting without thinking after incongruous ways. So that's also an aspect of Ajmaq, this blindness that emotions can cause on us, that can lead us to do mistakes. Not every complementary choice that we speak on Ajmaq can be like the right one that was gonna work. Can be the one that can be wrong straight away, there can be one that can work for a bit. Just like everything in life, relationships, partnerships, marriage, enters into this realm. So this Trecena talks about letting things go, to bring forgiveness, whether for yourself or whether if you feel it's time to make up with someone you had a fight, or if in the past Tz'ikin you had more clarity over a situation where you saw you were unfair with someone. This can be a great period of going there and apologize, let things go, start new without that burden in your back. Empty your bag with the things you feel guilty. Let the mistakes you do all over these past 260 days go. That's the spirit that we need to embrace in this Trecena. And to begin this Trecena, we start with Kat 1, burning into ashes. 1 is the now of the spring, the fresh new beginnings, the fresh new start. And Kat is the now of the descending fire, or burning into ashes, in the meaning it's the sacrifice that we do to give life to the other, to sustain something. Kat is this slow fire that keeps things warm, the efforts we need to put on. Talks also about the debts we accumulate. Just like when we see those monthly bills we gotta pay, you know, the minimal stuff we need to sustain our life. Kat is also associated with the net or the bag, where we can carry the materials we need in our journey that are gonna help us along the way. Don't wanna fill it with a lot of stuff, otherwise become too heavy for you to carry. So that abundance, that accumulation can be something that can hurt you, that can burn you. The thing with Kat is just to light your bag. In this Trecena, as we are talking about restarting the cycle, this beginning of the Trecena is about just to take things that you don't need out of your bag. Let things lighter for you to restart the cycle. As all the Trecenas are continuation from each other, depending on how the past Trecena went for you, Kat can be the one that you feel already lighter, but also could be the now that can leave you burned out, with no energy to do stuff. That's one of the realms that Kat can branch into as well. And then we move to Kame 2, Stellar Serpent. Now Kame is the now of the retraction, just like when the wave is pulling the water before advancing with more strength. And Kame is the now of the Stellar Serpent, is the now of the intervention. Ka'an is the sound of the thunder that announces that changes are going to happen in nature. Kame is the time that we can take one step back to see what happened in the past Trecenas and how we can intervene. We can see like what was poisoning us, maybe not just in the past Trecena, maybe in this last entire cycle. It's a time that you can take one step back to see how you can intervene to change the scenario if it's not walking according to as you wish to. It's a time for you to reevaluate all these things and apply your wisdom to intervene. Otherwise, Kame can be the one that makes you be retracted and poisoning yourself with the things you don't want to let go, the things that make you furious. Maybe with someone else, maybe with yourself. And this is the Trecena we are talking about, letting things go, bringing forgiveness. Kame is a great day to reevaluate these past things and how you can intervene to change the scenario if needed. And then we move to Oshib Kame, 3 Ancestors. Now Oshib, now 3 is now of water opening the path. Just like in the waterfalls, the water find the spaces between the rocks to overcome an obstacle. And Kame is the now of the ancestors. You talk about supportiveness. Kame is the most sensible of the NAWALs. It talks about that warm of support when someone wishes you well, like the care of the ancestors that can help you pushing things that are also connected, the spirit of the ancestor that is in the air that we breathe, that is in the sound of the birds that we listen when we go out. So all these things that can lead us this aspect of support. So Oshib Kame is now that talks about opening the path for the support. Can be for you maybe finding the support you need in the people that you trust. The people that can, wish you well, that can be with you, that can motivate you. Or also just is it now that you can also give some help by giving support to the others. It can be a great day if you need to find support for your ideas, for the stuff that you've been doing, or support by the way that you feel about yourself. Can be a great day, so you can find someone that can give you some support, some words of comfort. Kame also enters into the realm when you feel left out. It talks about suffering, pressure in the heart. If you are talking about this Trecena of the recycling of the calendar, you know, we need to let things go. And then about just remove all this pressure we feel in our hearts. If you feel the connection with the ancestors, it's a great day for you to talk to them. See what are the signs they're gonna put in front of you. That is the way that you can move forward. So we need to remove all this stuff, this heavy stuff that we are carrying. And then we move to Kahib Ker for deer. Now Kahib is the now of the water that is stationary, just like the dam where the water is stuck in a recipient. Now Ker is the now of the altar, is the now of the spiritual strength. So Kahib Ker is gonna be the pulse to get strong, is the stationary strength. This can be like mirror NAWALs in some aspects, because NAWAL 4 talks about balance, you know, what has no movement. And now Ker is now the deer, the now of the altar, the four legs that sustain a table. So after talking to the ancestors, we can also receive the spiritual balance when you can go to our altars to offer our ceremonies to make us our spirit lift up. So it can be a great day for you to ground yourself, to find that spiritual stability that can allow you to do things in a more correct way, to avoid the blindness that sometimes Ajmaq can bring. And what we want to avoid here is the reluctancy of the NAWAL Ker. When you get too comfortable of a situation, reluctancy in wanting to change, reluctancy of wanting to let things go. And that's what you want to try to avoid in Kahib Ker. And then we move to Hob Canoe, 5 seed. Hob is the now of the water with no containment, like it's the breakthrough of the water, just like when the dam breaks and the water overflows. That's what I talk about, that can be where things can go sideways in the Trecena. And canoe is the now of the seed, is the potential of something to germinate. We can associate that to productivity. It's how we're gonna be applying that to really see the potential, or the extra stuff we're gonna apply, the fertilizers to help the plants grow stronger. But canoe needs to do a lot with the balance of how we're gonna apply this extra stuff in the stuff that we need. It can be something that can make it grow, but it also can be the poison, it can be what can make it rotten. And that's what we wanna avoid in Hob Canoe. Can be in a very auspicious day if you are focused about something, to be very productive, to be, you know, working hard to see the potential, or to find the complementary balances for the stuff that you are doing. But we need to be careful that canoe can be rotten. We can also talk about addictions in here. It can be the overflow of addictions when you start taking too much medicines or too much caffeine because you need to stay awake, when you start intoxicating yourself. And that's what you want to avoid in Hob Canoe. Avoid this overflow of intoxication. Is the Oshilahu Ajmaq Trecena, the Trecena that we talk about the complementary opposites. As Kane needs a complement, maybe you can find this complement in someone else. You can find a partner to do the job. And then we move to Akib Tor. And now I want you to pay very close attention to this sequence of 4 NAWALs, because these are very important in this Trecena. This cycle of 4 NAWALs will combine the 2 last days of the old and the 2 first days of the new. So we're moving to Akib Tor. 6 is the now of pondering, is the now of the dry caves, is the now of putting things into perspective. And now Tor is the ascending fire, the sacrifices that we do to be in power, to achieve power for us. Like these choices that we do for the things you want to achieve. So Akib Tor is the day to ponder sacrifices that we have been making to achieve power, to achieve the things that we want to achieve. So Akib Tor is going to be the day for you to ponder the sacrifices you have been doing, especially from the last 260 days when you commit to do this sacrifice. So now is the time to ponder, is this sacrificing being worth it? is already giving you like the sensation you are looking for before you started. You have to put in consideration all the challenges you had or all the benefits you had. So it's a day for putting everything into perspective, everything you have been sacrificing yourself for. As I told, this Trecena is this Trecena to let things go, to make things lighter before we enter to the new cycle. If you decide like you don't want to continue in this path, it's okay. So time restarts, you can make new commitments. But this is a time for you to reevaluate everything that you've done in this past cycle. And then we move to Ukub Tz'i, 7 dog. This is gonna be the last day of the 206-day cycle in the Tz'i tradition. NAWAL 7 is the NAWAL of the boiling water, and the effervescent water is the hottest part of the Trecena, also the climax. And NAWAL Tz'i is the emotions that can cause blindness in Ajmaq. Ukub Tz'i, after you do all these considerations on top, after you empty your bag, if you are able to, like after you do all this process of this Trecena, is the moment that you can say, oh, I let this go. I let all these emotions go. To avoid them to become like the ultimate chaos on you. And we want to avoid that. It's the Trecena of letting things go. Let all the emotions go, everything that doesn't serve. And you open yourself for the new emotions to come, for the new cycle to come. And then we move to Ajmaq, 8th thread or monkey. This is the day that marks the restarting of the calendar, that has that New Year's vibe. Now 8 is the NAWAL of the return. It's the NAWAL that represents the rainy season return, stronger. And it's also the new beginning of the Trecena, the second part. You see many Maya people restarting things on the NAWAL 8 because it's a stronger beginning than the NAWAL 1. So you are more prepared, you're already been through something, so it can be a stronger start. And Bat is the thread of time. But different from how we perceive time here in the Western world, Maya people don't see time as just a simple straight line across. Time in the Maya calendar and for Maya people, it's a line that can twist, can entangle, can change shape, and then it returns. That's what gives us the dynamic that we experience in life. So 8 Bats is the returning of time, it's the return of the interconnections, it's the return of new ideas or new work to do. So that's gonna be the day to make the ceremonies, to celebrate, to make the best wishes for things to flow along this next cycle. And avoid to being entangled with the stuff that we left from the last cycle. And also I want to remind you that this is also the last day to enter the giveaway of the 9 free Maya consultations that I'm running on Discord. If you wanna enter, the link's gonna be here in the description. And then we move to Belaer E9 Pathfinder. Now 9 is the 9 of the inner caves or the underwater caves. To talk about things that are running hidden from sight, things that are gestating. And now Pathfinder is now the path. It's now to find a meaning, find a purpose. So 9 Pathfinder is going to be the day to gestate the new meaning, to gestate a new purpose to achieve in this new cycle. And also a day that you need to bear in mind to avoid keeping, some melancholies from the past cycle. So we want to let everything go on now Ukub Tz'i, 7 dog. So we can just focus on putting our awareness on the things that you can start over again, you can do differently. And this way we finish this 4-day cycle that are important. Wakiptor, 6, this ascending fire, talking about pondering the stuff that we sacrificed ourselves for in the past cycle. Ukub Tz'i is the final day to let things go, let things in the past, to open space for the brand new. Ajmaq, 8th thread, is the day to restart the timing, the day for the new actions, for the new ideas. And Belaer E is the day where you're going to make your notes or the things new things you wanna achieve. So it's the day to gestate this path. And then we move to Laur A, 10 transformation. Now 10 is the now of the convergence, like you can associate that with the lake where many rivers can meet in one single place. So we talk about everything coming together. We can associate that as a collaboration activity. And now Ah is the now of the transformation, of the incompleteness, of the changes. So 10 Ah is the convergences of changes. So that's when you're gonna be starting applying these changes. Maybe you can be reunited with your friends or a group of people that you work to and analyze the changes that are gonna be making. What is feeling incomplete and how can be done to complete these tasks, to bring that transformation. Now Ah don't talk about what is already transformed, that is transmuted, that is beautiful. It talks about those great shades that we need to breathe because it's incomplete, that sometimes lead us to feel the anxiety of wanting to complete that. So 10 Ah can be a great day to solve with other people. With other people, maybe you can see things better or how they can work better. And then we move to Hula Ishvalam, 11 Jaguar. Now 11 is now of the spread, like when the water is spilled. It talks about moving to multiple directions without like a single focus. And now Ishvalam, we talk about the material things. We're talking about the development. So 11 Ishvalam is to plan about the expanding this development, the development of the ideas you start gestating on 9A. So it's a way to plan how you're going to materialize them, to bring them into the world. What you need to be aware about now 11 that can dilute sometimes the power of something. Sometimes can work against Ishvalam, making all this development, all this fertility warring. But it's a good day for us to explore the curiosities we have, to drive attention to multiple things that you can add into the bag and see what you can do there, what kind of the multiple options, like the multiple paths this can lead. And then we move to Tz'ikin, 12 Eagle. Now 12 is the now of the extra, is the cash out of the Trecena, like the last moment for you to finalize the stuff that you're doing. And now Tz'ikin talks about the straightforward actions, talks about engendering. So if Ishvalan talks about the feminine aspect, gestating, making a savings. Now Tz'ikin talks about the masculine aspects, the money itself, how you're going to spend, how you're going to apply your focus, your vision to materialize that. After you branch out your focus on Ishvalan with the multiple possibilities, 12 Eagle is the day where you fix the focus, where you establish that what's the best option from all of those you saw and apply something extra. Or maybe it could be the time for you to invest a little bit of more money to make that grow. And also, depending on how the Trecena is going, we need to avoid being disturbed, because after the 9/11, we can be confused, we don't know where to go, our emotions can be mixed. Choose one, see how you can better prepare yourself to do that and move straight forward into it. And then we move to the final day of the Trecena, the ruler of the Trecena, Ajmaq, 13, complementarity. Now 13 talks about the accumulation of all these processes we experience throughout the Trecena. Everything that starts in Hunkat, one burning into ashes, that is gonna grow now until the 13. And Ajmaq is the now of the complementarity, it's now the join, the complementary opposites. As we talk about the female jaguar, the masculine eagle, Ajmaq joins them to make a product. So it's going to be the accumulation of deals that we can make, like how we can use what happened to the past with the new ideas we are creating, so we can bring that into life, give birth into that. Depending on how the Trecena went, can be also the accumulation of blindness, when you are blinded by your emotions, which can happen, there is no problem with that. But if you always have a reminder, like at least a split second to remember, to ask yourselves if you're not acting only based on emotions, maybe you're able to put our feet on the floor a little bit and make a more conscious decision about something to avoid making mistakes. But even if you do, Ajmaq is a time for forgiveness, especially with you. Let your burdens go, let everything that is burning you, that is consuming you, that is not allowing you to move forward, go. So find forgiveness, find a time to make up with people you feel you act unfair to. And that's what the Oshlahu Ajmaq is going to be talking about. And that's it, that was our Trecena analysis. Remember, if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell button to receive notifications whenever we post a video, especially with these new videos coming up every single week, so you don't want to miss whenever I post it. So I hope you have enjoyed the video, and I see you on the next Trecena analysis.